Hey everyone, it's June. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk about what I think so many people are talking about today, and that is leaving Neverland. I really didn't want to watch the documentary. I struggled with myself to watch the show. On one hand, I'm like, I love Michael Jackson so much, and I didn't want to hear all these bad things about him. And then on the other hand, it was like, I remember the allegations, and I remember feeling like they were true. And I was just really, really curious. And so I watched it, and it was very, very, very disturbing. It was to see these two men and hear them and describe what happened in the company of Michael Jackson was the most horrific. It's so scary as a parent to hear what was happening to these 7-year-old boys. It was terrible. And we always tell our children, well, I know I tell my children, if somebody touches you, please, tell me. But that's not the case. That's not the case in every situation. Kids hear sexual abuse and they're thinking they're physically going to be hurt. They're going to have bruises. There's going to be hitting and slapping and all that. And we see in this documentary that is not true. Michael Jackson made these boys basically fall in love with him. So they did anything he said. Anything he said, he groomed them so well that they couldn't wait to be with him sexually. They fell in love with him, and I believe till this day they do still love him. Now, a lot of people don't believe this. Everybody's like, well, you know what? They waited almost a decade after his death to come out about this. They also testified in court on his behalf. And the reason why they did this is because they loved him. They loved him, and he asked them, and they would do anything for Michael Jackson. So of course they're going to testify in his defense. Now coming out after he's dead, everybody wants to say, oh, they're liars, they just want money, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe that's the case. If you watch Leaving Neverland, you can see the hurt. You can see feelings festering inside these men. It's so horrible. And just the graphic details of what they're saying, even listening to the voice messages that Michael Jackson was leaving for them, and you can kind of hear like the manipulation in the voice text in the voicemails. I just don't believe that any kid should be in bed with a grown adult. And I understand that these parents really got pulled in by him. And one of the mothers said that she felt like he was like her son, and it was just like a huge fantasy. Like, this is Michael Jackson coming to my house, wanting to eat my food, wanting to feel safe, and he felt safe by going to Miss Safechuck's house. Of course you're going to be drawn in. You're going to be drawn in. Is it their fault? Absolutely. You just don't leave a child to be alone with a grown man. I don't care how young he acts. You just don't do that. But they did it. And their reasoning was that they were just drawn in and they trusted him. And I guess he was a trustable guy, acting like he's 9 years old and how he loves kids and he wants peace in the world and all this. And then just to do this to these boys was just horrible. So last night on Facebook, I decided to write a little thing, and it just said, watching Neverland, I keep saying Netherlands, watching Neverland, this is very disturbing. And a lot of people had different opinions on the situation. There are people that are saying, this is a total lie. Total lie. I don't believe it for a second. And to those people, I wanted to ask, well, okay, everybody has their own opinions. And I know you guys have your own opinions. You guys might be diehard Michael Jackson fans and feel, oh, this would never, never, never happen. Which is not true, because anybody can do this. Man, woman, anybody can do this. Anybody is capable of sexually abusing a child, even an adult. So someone I know wrote that she don't believe it. Not for a second. No, 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 no. And so I just had to ask the question, well, can you tell me why you don't believe it? Like, what is the reasoning behind your, like, you know, this did not happen? And she said, because you just don't wait 20 years after an incident. And I'm like, you don't wait 20 years? There are millions of people who have gotten sexually abused by family members, friends of the family, just teachers, coaches, priests, that they don't come out for 20 years. Sometimes they don't come out at all and talk about it. They keep it inside and have horrible lives. Some go on to have amazing lives, but some people choose not to let that out. So how could you sit there and say, you just don't do that? So I asked her, I said, well, let me ask you something. You don't believe these guys. Let's just say your son or your daughter comes to you and says, when I was a child, so-and-so sexually molested me. Would you believe your child? Or would you say, sorry, that happened too long ago, didn't happen? So she said, yes, I would believe my child. But I also know my child, she says. I know my child. We are very open, and my child would have came to me and told me. And I said, I'm sorry, that's not the case for everyone. You can have the best relationship in the world with your children. They may not come to you and say, oh, so-and-so touched me here, or penetrated me here, or said this to me. Kids don't just come out and say that. First of all, some of them feel shamed. Some of them are manipulated into thinking that if this kid lets anyone know that this is going on, that you're going to go to jail, or, you know, your parents are going to go to jail, or I'm going to go to jail, or something bad's going to happen, like your family member is going to get killed, or, you know, whatever. Kids believe anything adults say. So I want to know, and I know I probably have so many subscribers that are like, I can't believe she's saying that. Michael Jackson's innocent, and that's fine. That is fine. This is what I believe. I believe that these two men are telling the truth. You may not believe that. And if you don't believe that, I would love for you to take the time out to write down below why you would think these men are not telling the truth. And have you seen the documentary? Because if you're just going by, yeah, no, they're not telling the truth, then don't comment down below. If you saw the documentary and you still feel that these men are not telling the truth, yeah, comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Also, let me know your thoughts about Macaulay Culkin, because that is the kid. Now, I remember Macaulay Culkin was right by his side, sleeping by his house, sleeping in his bed, yet Macaulay Culkin says nothing happened. And we have to believe him. Why? He has not come out and said anything, and I don't think he ever will if it did happen. I'm not saying it did happen. I don't want to get no crap from people, but you know what I'm saying? Also, look at Macaulay Culkin's life and how it turned out. You know, drugs, like that could be just an emotion that was festering within himself. It may not be. Maybe he wasn't. I hope, I pray to God that he was never molested. But there are just too many people that came out against Michael Jackson. He paid people off. Not only that, but quite a few years ago, LaToya Jackson, who was a little, I know, eccentric and whatever. A lot of people don't believe her, but she came out with a video, an interview, and although she's never seen Michael Jackson actually molest children, but she said that Katherine Jackson had shown her so many checks that he has given the parents of these little boys. So I don't know if it was like a payoff, whatever. It just don't seem right. It don't seem right. And LaToya would always see boys in the bed with Michael Jackson. His maid, she's seen him naked with these kids. So many people have seen things, but everybody had a confidentiality agreement, so nobody said a thing, which I thought was terrible. Because if you see something so bad, you know what I'm saying, you would feel like, how could I not say something? But they also feared for their life. So, I mean, I guess because he's such a powerful person, and we've seen this in Hollywood with priests, with coaches. When you have a powerful person doing this to you, it's very hard to say, you know what, I'm going to say something. Some people do, but some people don't. And I believe 100% this did happen. Is there a chance it didn't happen? Of course, there's a chance. Guess what? Legally, by law, he's an innocent man, right? Because he wasn't indicted of these crimes. So he wasn't convicted, nothing. So by law, he is innocent. It's what I believe in my heart. I believe that this did happen. I do. And if you want to have your own opinion on this, I definitely suggest watching Leaving Netherlands. I suggest watching Leaving Neverland. Also, there is an Oprah Winfrey, and it's on YouTube. There's an Oprah Winfrey interview with two men and the director of the film, and it's called I believe it's called After Neverland. And almost everyone in the audience is somebody who has been sexually abused, and as well as Oprah Winfrey. So they know the whole grooming process. They all know. And it's not just it's not just physical abuse. These people that groom these children make them feel like they are so in love. And I think that's what the shameful part to them is, because I really believe they feel they still love him. Even though they know it was wrong, the feeling was there. He had a mock wedding with one of the kids. So this kid felt like he was married to Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson made him feel like they were together. I think it's disgusting. I really do. I don't care how powerful you are. I don't care. Do not leave your children with anyone, powerful, not powerful, with no one. It used to be, we used to sleep by kids' houses all the time. You know what I'm saying? Never thought about that really. But today's day and age, with all the stuff that's going on in Hollywood, in the church, in schools, you see this happening every day because of social media. People are putting this out all the time. There's a whole Me Too movement. This is something to really think about, and your kids might not always tell you. So to play it safe, don't leave your children alone. Basically, that's it. Do not leave your children alone, because you just never know.